I picked up a kit from the Dollar Tree, a crochet kit from the Dollar Tree. For $1.25, it's supposed to have everything to make this little cute dog. And I thought we would give this a try. Quality for $1.25, I mean, when you think about all the stuff in it, it says it includes plastic needle, yarn, stuffing, crochet hook, and plastic beads. And we're gonna see how this goes. I'll take one of my husband's beautiful bowls and just dump everything into it. Then we don't have to hear the plastic. Okay, so instructions. We got a double-sided page of instructions. Might need a magnifying glass. Follow the illustration. Okay, so this side's basically showing you the basic stitches and stuff. How to increase, how to decrease. And then in even smaller writing are these little charts. I mean, come on. It's so itty bitty. And I don't have good eyes to begin with. Stitch point. Okay, so each one of these, this is showing you increasing. Next, crochet the body. Okay, so this is, each one of these squares looks like it's another part. This is going to be very interesting. Here's our crochet hook. It's plastic. It's a basic little hook. It's maybe slightly catchy there. Not super strong, so it's not something you're going to use a lot. Here's our yarn. I will say it's got a nice softness to it. It's actually, if you know how Red Heart is kind of oof to feel sometimes, this is a little bit softer, so that is nice. It's got a softness. We got a little tiny package of polyfill. And then a little thing, and so they're beads. What they were calling beads are like the safety eyes and the nose, it looks like. And then we have our little plastic tapestry needle. Let's see. Wow. So there's, I don't even know how to hold this so you can see it. There's the needle. It's very tiny, very bendy. So again, not the best quality, but this is only $1.25. So, I mean, in all honesty, your little safety eyes and nose are worth the $1.25. The little bit of yarn's probably worth that. So I will say what you're getting for that is good. Now, the biggest question is going to be this. I would say this is definitely, even though they give you instructions on how to do these stitches, it's not going to be like a Woobles thing that really walks you through it. It's not going to be a beginner friendly. I already know how to increase in the round and decrease in the round, and so they're showing this circle, which I don't know that I'm going to even pay attention to that. Honestly, I think I'm going to look at this chart right here, and that gives you the round number and what your stitches are at, and it's going to be a basic stitch increase, it looks like. So I think I can look at that, which I can see a little bit better, because this I think would just be super confusing, and it looks like they're all, it's basically just a round with a little X in different places. It really doesn't even make that much sense. So I think I'm going to be looking at these little charts here to try and figure this out. Okay, let's see. To make the dog, start by crocheting the head. the diagram, 2 colors of yarn are needed for the head. The color of the stitch symbol shows the color of yarn to use. To change the color, cut the color you are using and leave a couple inches of yarn. Tie the new color to the old color and continue crocheting. Tuck the cut ends into the head before you close off the head. Add the eyes and nose and stuff with fiberfill. Okay, so it says that the symbol shows the color of the yarn. I think they're talking about this. Those symbols are so close in color. I don't know if I, again, without a magnifying glass, can exactly follow that and or tell the color. The color is gray and brown, so I guess that would mean that the black would be the gray and that kind of reddish color would be the brown. I don't know. And so then looking at this picture, they must be starting at the nose and working back, but you also have this gray bit up here. Okay, that is really kind of confusing. And if you're going to keep cutting, that would be each time you're going around this and then you're cutting, and I mean, it would make more sense to carry it right there. And then it looks like the rest of the body's all done in the gray. So the ears and this part of the head is in the brown. Well, we're gonna try and figure this out. Now, let's see. Do we have a center pole? Oh, do we? Oh, look at that. We have a center pole that actually pulls. Okay, they just got a point there. Okay, let's see. Let's see what we can figure out here. We are doing single crochets and we're starting off with 6. And we are increasing to 12 on our next one. Okay, the next row we are increasing to 18. So that should be instead of 2 in each, it should be a single and then a double. I will say that so far, the crochet hook slides very nicely in the yarn, and the yarn is very nice and soft in my hands. They have bonus points right there. Okay, so 3 rounds we are not increasing for. Okay, so I'll work through those straight rounds, and then I took a picture of this itty bitty teeny weeny chart because I honestly cannot tell where color changes or anything. I think looking at the picture that the color change is going to happen now, but I couldn't be sure, so I blew it up on my phone, and I'm glad I did, because as I was counting this, I first did this, and I couldn't read this either, and I'm counting, and I'm going, okay, I'm not sure what is row, what's not, so then I blew it up a little bit more, and they actually did all the straight rows, which were 3 rows, they put in 1 circle here. And the next one is where that color changes. So I was right, this next row is where I'm going to change to the brown. And this is going to be where the chaining is the underside of his chin, because on this side is where the gray is. So we need to count around to here with brown and then have gray here and then continue around. And this is going to increase out here so that we'll get more gray as it goes back further on the head. But again, all it says in the little box is what your stitch count is. And all it says here is these X's and little arrows, which is supposed to be your stitches. And okay, so if it has an X with an arrow under it, it's an increase. If it has X with an arrow on top of it, it's a decrease. And I guess if it's just an X, it's the stitch. Biggest complaint with this pattern so far is the pattern itself. Everything else for $1.25, I think it's not so bad. So I need to figure out how many stitches before, see, that's making this even harder trying to see this. The increases are all at the top of the head with no increases around here. See if I can get a better picture of this. Okay, that's a little better. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 stitches, and then we're increasing 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches, but we're leaving 2 that are gray right in the center. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we're working 7. 1, 2. No, wait. Oop, see, I messed up already. This pattern has me confused. It did. We're switching colors here. Okay, little brown. Do we have a center pole? Which there's not much here of you, but I'm just curious. Don't think so. I think we need to just pull from the outside. Okay, so we worked 7. Now we need to do 4 increases, but we need gray in 2 of those. Looks like our next round only going to get 2 increases, so 7, then an increase, 6, then an increase. Okay. I'm actually getting a little dog face. I can kind of see it starting. Okay, so row 9 is a basic increase. We're doing 3 single crochets and an increase, so that shouldn't be too hard. Now it's time to start decreasing. So let's see how they've got that figured out here. And it looks like we are now going back to, wait a second. I did something wrong. So I had straight rounds, and to be perfectly honest, I looked here and saw that my numbers were staying straight, so I didn't look at the chart, but from looking at the chart on round 11, I needed to increase my number of gray stitches. And then on the last round, I needed to increase the number of gray stitches. So I actually need to pull out 2 rounds. Needed 1 extra gray on either side. Now I'm pulling that a little bit so that I have room here since I'm bringing it across, and then I kind of work over it, which doesn't fully matter because you won't see the back, and I'm not working over the brown because again, it's not going to matter, you're not going to see the back. Okay, so I'm down to 2 more rows to go. I've changed to gray. It's got 2 more rows of gray that are also decreases. So before I get this too small, I think we need to put in our nose and our eyes and get some stuffing in here. I'm also going to tie a couple of these. It's going to be on the inside. It's not going to matter how pretty this looks. It will be hidden within, but I also don't want this to come apart later on. Okay, we're going to flip it back and let's see how easy or not so easy these things are. So this is going right in the Center of the nose is what it looks like looking at the picture, with the little flat edge up at the top of the head. And these look like they are all the same size backings. Oh, that went on pretty well. Okay. And then it does not tell you that I have seen exactly where you're putting the eyes, but if I look at the picture, it looks like it's about one brown stitch over, right at that first brown row. So I'm gonna say right there. The other one's gonna go right there. I think that's right. These are going on super easy, so hopefully that doesn't mean that they will come off. Okay, there's our little puppy face. It's pretty cute. Okay, so now I'm gonna finish these last 2 rounds. Oh, and I need to put, let's see, let's take the needle out and we'll drop our fluff into there. Lots of fluff. Okay, let's put some in the head. Well, now we get to see how well this needle works. So let's see if we can actually thread it. Oh, we did. And I'm just going to cinch up these last stitches. There we go. Weave that end in a little bit and then thread it into the inside. Well, there's our little dog head. Actually pretty cute. So now we just get to do that again with the other body parts, but at least on these ones, they're only gray, so we don't have to worry about the brown anymore. So we're only doing gray bits. These ones here, I think I can read okay. I think I still need to take a picture of this one because it's still pretty small. Okay, it looks like it's basic shaping, so that's good. Okay, so we are starting again with a magic ring and 6. Now, these ones we're gonna have to make more than one of because we need 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 ears. But what else? Is there a tail? Because there's your ear. Oh, this is the body. Okay, body, legs, back legs, front legs, ear. So 1 of these, 2 of these, 2 of these, and 2 of these. Okay, there we go. Well, there's his little body. I did mess up somewhere. I don't know how and I don't know where, but I ended up 2 stitches less than I should have been, but I just went with it. It was only 2 stitches and he's just a cute little amigurumi guy, so I just left it. Shove some stuffing in his body there. I will say this is nice soft stuffing too. The yarn has a really nice stitch definition and it is not splitty. I have not had an issue with the hook or the yarn causing the stitches to split. So now this is going to get sewn onto him like that. That'll be his little body. So I guess we could go ahead and sew that on now. I don't really think it's gonna matter so much as to when it gets sewn on. Say right about there. Doesn't actually tell us, so that's where I'm going. Okay, this is a little bit harder with this plastic needle where it wants to bend because you need the pressure so you can come straight out of the spot where you are. I do not do a lot of amigurumi, so I'm not sewing this on the way some people think I should. I apologize. Don't know if there's really a right or a wrong way when you're sewing the amigurumi. There's his little body. He's looking actually pretty cute. He's done. He's pretty cute, but there are a few issues. If you notice, he's got a little brown spot on his leg there, and that's because I ran out of gray yarn. So I did his ears and then used what was left to do that. So he's got, you know, a little spotted arm, which left me with that much brown left. Now, as far as clipping, it didn't say, you know, make sure you only have this much tail or something. So there are some tails that are inside. I do have a couple little pieces. So maybe if I had made my tails smaller, I might have been able to get those last 14 stitches. It was 14 stitches. I might have gotten those last 14 stitches, but I had no idea that I was going to need to cut it so close. So if they're going to put that little amount in, then they should let you know, hey, be careful when you're clipping, because you've got to be able to have room to sew things too. And when you do your magic loop and you pull it, a lot of times you have a little extra than you think. You need enough to work with at different points. You're getting to the end, you got to have enough to work with. So it could have been just, and it's not really even that much, just a little bit more yarn, maybe an extra yard or half a yard would have been enough. So a little extra yarn would have been nice. The plastic needle, if you were going all the way through the body, was really kind of hard at certain points, and getting it to go straight because it wanted to curve, which is not a requirement on this. You're just sewing it in. But like I said, even when you were sewing, that was a little difficult. Again, this was only $1.25, so I'm not really expecting a metal needle. But if you're doing it yourself and you have a metal needle at home, you might want to use that. I did the whole thing with what was in the kit, so I actually just used this. The crochet hook, for $1.25, really was not a bad crochet hook. I did not have any issues using it. I have no idea what the size is. It is slightly smaller than I was expecting. It's a 3.0, so it's just between a D and a C. I would say really more of a D, 3.25, but it does not say what that hook is. You could obviously use your own hook. You could get another one from the dollar store, but for being a $1.25 kit, really not a bad hook. And for $1.25, the quality of the yarn was way better than I expected. And the little eyes and the nose, the safety eyes and nose, and not just putting in a little bit of yarn for you. I mean, the price for that was great. My biggest peeve on this is this pattern. This pattern is just, I don't even really know what to say. It's just not, it's not good. And I mean, the fact that they're giving you all the instructions, which these are not bad, but they're giving you the instructions on how to do the different stitches, that makes you think, okay, this is going to be more of a beginner thing because they're teaching you the stitches. This is not beginner. This is not really anything. This is not a regular pattern of any sort, at least none that I know. I mean, if you're used to these, put it in the comments. I'm interested to know. But and this really wouldn't have even been as bad if it was bigger. These ones were not bad. I could look at these, but especially this one, that is so tiny. And I mean, I know I have bad eyes, but I think somebody with good eyes is still going to struggle a bit with this. So that would be my biggest pet peeve, is just the construction of this pattern. But as for everything else, for $1.25, it's a really cute kit. My little doggy, even with his little brown arm, which I kind of like, he came out really cute. He's a super cute little doggy. I mean, come on, you guys. $1.25. That's, yeah, that kit, it's worth $1.25. And if you can figure out the pattern, I mean, I figured it out. I would say if you decide to do it, use your phone, blow it up so that you can see that and follow it. Otherwise, you know, and be careful that you don't run out of the yarn. What I was thinking as I went, because I was worried about running out of the yarn, and I was like, well, if I run out and I can't do like the last 2 arms or something, I'll get yarn from my stash and just give him maybe white legs or something. He still would be really cute. But I was able to utilize that little bit of brown and add that in there, so he has a little brown spotted arm, and I think that's cute. So definitely worth $1.25. You did pretty good, Dollar Tree. I would say I would give it, I'm going to say an 8 out of 10, just because that pattern could be better, and that really wouldn't be any extra cost. So improve that pattern and a little bit more yarn, you got it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, click like and subscribe. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you think about this little $1.25 amigurumi kit from Dollar Tree. And if you've done one, let me know. And we'll see y'all again soon. Bye.